Now, you go on to say, I, Laird of Garskadden, am saying people should not be selfish and consider others instead. When I made my video to Mike Campochiaro, I'm not saying people should be unselfish. It would be nice if they were, but I'm not saying that in this video. I'm saying, Mike Campochiaro, you are being very selfish. I want you to take responsibility because you are driving people towards suicide. I want you specifically to take this video off. And I gave my reason for why he should take it off. I mean, I've given several reasons, but one of them is that this is basically I think it's the wrong context, the wrong historical context to make a video like this and put it in a public domain. America right now isn't ready for a philosophical discourse like this to be out in the open. There are lots of dysfunctional people out there who really can't handle a discussion like that. And if you put it out there, that means that they can quickly go towards it, and there's not going to be a warning about what it's about. I mean, there's nothing warning them, and then they see it, and boom, it just pushes them a little bit. It's a factor towards the suicide. It's not the sole cause of suicide, obviously. Mike Campochiaro tried to throw that crap at me, and I'm like, yeah, I know it's not the sole cause, but it is a factor, and that does make you partly responsible. If you're Mike Campochiaro, that makes you partly responsible. So I want you to take responsibility and take the damn video off. Just because you're not the only cause doesn't mean you're not at least partly responsible. Everybody has to do their little part. Where was I? Okay. Okay, so I'm not saying people should be unselfish. I'm saying Mike Campochiaro should take responsibility. I don't care if he's selfish. I don't want him imposing on other people out of selfishness. I don't want him to drive other people towards suicide. I'm not really focused on him. I'm focused on the people who watch this video, and I'm saying, dude, you're being very selfish. You're driving people towards suicide. Take that video off. So I don't want to generalize to everybody. I don't say everybody should be unselfish, but I think that videos and other things like that that are shown to drive people towards suicide should be removed. I mean, at least for now. Maybe someday when America is ready for it, then it could be put up. I'm not saying absolutely forever. No, that's kind of dumb. Why do that? But for now, no, it doesn't belong there. Maybe in the future, 50 years from now. So, not generalizing. Okay, then you say my whole argument is an appeal to ignorance. That how do I know that this video will drive people towards suicide? Well, of course there is going to be an error. I don't know 100% to a T if there have been people who have died from it. That's why I ask how many people have died from it. It is kind of manipulation to like ask the question without really knowing the answer to it. Ask a rhetorical question and not know the exact answer to it. But here is what I'm trying to say. There's a theorem in statistics, and I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. There's a really nifty name for it. But basically, it's where you say if you take a random sample of a population of at least 30 participants, then you will have pretty much a representative sample of the population. Meaning that all the groups, all demographics of the population will be represented in that sample. So you'll have a certain percentage of black people and gay people and all that stuff. Mathematically, it will work out. Now, his video doesn't have just 30 views. It has 11,000 views and I think possibly even more comments on it by all kinds of different people. So by this theorem, it's pretty much statistically impossible that a dysfunctional person that there are no dysfunctional people watching his video who could be driven towards suicide as a result of there being this philosophical discourse on suicide. That was a mouthful I just said there, but basically it's saying that there has to be, mathematically, there has to be somebody who's very dysfunctional on YouTube watching this video who is driven towards suicide, as a, who makes this video a factor towards his own suicide. So, appeal to ignorance, yeah, statistically there is an error. There is a very slight possibility that there are no dysfunctional people watching his video so far. There is always that possibility, but statistically that's impossible. And even if there is that slim chance, you're still taking a risk. So my point is, why take this risk? Why take this huge risk? If he is really serious about getting an answer from atheists and he doesn't want to take this risk, coming down with something, I'm pretty sick. If he's serious about getting an answer, he should just make a private chat room with, some atheists and hammer out an answer. He doesn't need to make it public. I mean, if he does a private chat room, he will still be able to get all the benefits, all the answers that he wants answered, and he won't be taking a risk that some dysfunctional person will come along and watch it, or join in. So, my question is, why not take it off? Why take the risk of having it on YouTube? Take it off. Take responsibility. Keeping it on is so selfish, and you're just taking an unnecessary risk. Now, you go on to ask 3 questions. The first question is, why is a person wanting to or considering suicide? Well, obviously this depends on the context, but psychologically it has been shown that generally speaking it's from a lack of a support network. There was a tape that I once listened to of a kid, a 13-year-old boy, who had attention deficit disorder, and he was failing all of his classes. Now apparently the pressure for him to succeed was very great, and nobody really accepted him for just the way he was. Nobody supported him through it or encouraged him or something. Apparently, I don't know, it was just a tape. But I did get to listen to him make the recording of his final words. He did eventually kill himself. So basically, it was because his parents were driving him towards succeeding. He was driving himself towards succeeding in school. His teachers were, and his friends, I guess, didn't like him or something. Middle school is a really hard place to be. I mean, anybody will tell you middle school is hell. Nobody wants to do that over again. Lots of cliques and gangs. Who are you friends with? Who are you associated with? People say really mean things, and it hurts a lot. Now, he eventually drove himself to suicide, and it could be argued that it was because he didn't have a good support network. Nobody supported him. He wasn't diagnosed with ADD either. It was only until, afterwards, I think. Or maybe they did diagnose him with ADD, but I'm not sure. But my point is, look, he had no support network. That's my answer. Why is a person wanting to or considering suicide? That's the general psychology answer. 2, your second question. What is the risk that someone, after watching the video, would kill themselves? Like I said earlier, from the theorem that I stated, there has to be some percentage. So my answer, what is the risk? It's higher than 0. And any percentage like that is higher than 0 is too much. You shouldn't be taking that risk.